7 signs that predict how long you'll live after 70. Scientifically proven. Hello everyone. Welcome back. I am your old friend. Today, I bring you an interesting and practical topic: longevity. I believe everyone hopes that they can be healthy and live a long life, right? But can we really predict how old we will live? Speaking of this, some people may think, who can know? How can fate be predicted? However, science tells us that how long we can live after 70 years old. In many cases, there are already signs. Today's content is based on some scientific research to talk to you about what signals our body uses to predict life after 70 years old. There may be some signs that you experience every day, but you don't pay much attention to them, but they really affect your future. No, recently, I saw a very interesting study. The researchers found 7 key body signals through a large amount of data, which can tell you in advance the possible health status after 70 years old. Yes, you heard it right. These seemingly insignificant details are actually directly related to how long we can live in the future. Isn't it amazing? But don't worry, I will solve this mystery for you today. In today's video, we will explore these key signs from many aspects, including lifestyle, physical and mental health, and psychological state. I hope that through today's sharing, everyone can pay more attention to their health, make the right adjustments, live healthier, and live longer. Okay, no more nonsense. Let's unveil the mystery of these 7 key signs of longevity together. 1. Changes in weight and waist circumference. As we all know, changes in weight are not just a matter of appearance. They are also closely related to our health, especially changes in waist circumference. Many people may not pay much attention to it, but it is really critical. Studies have shown that abdominal fat, especially visceral fat, not only affects our appearance, but also greatly increases the risk of chronic diseases, such as cardiovascular disease and diabetes, and ultimately affects life expectancy. You may think that your weight has not changed much, which is good, but if you find that your waist circumference has increased, especially if it exceeds the standard range, this needs to be paid attention to. According to relevant scientific research, if the waist circumference of men exceeds 94 centimeters and that of women exceeds 80 centimeters, the risk of metabolic syndrome will be greatly increased, and this syndrome is often related to heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, and other problems, which directly affects life expectancy. So, how can we extend our lifespan by controlling our weight and waistline? First of all, avoid overeating, maintain a reasonable diet, and increase the amount of exercise, especially aerobic exercise, such as walking, jogging, swimming, etc., which can effectively help us control our weight and reduce the accumulation. In addition, controlling weight can also reduce the risk of chronic diseases and enhance the resistance of the body's immune system. So, if you usually pay more attention to the management of your weight and waistline, it is fortunate, because this is a good signal that your lifestyle habits are already laying the foundation for your longevity. 2. Tips on sleep quality. When it comes to longevity, the first thing that comes to mind is diet and exercise, but in fact, the quality of sleep is also a very important factor affecting lifespan. Many studies have shown that high-quality sleep not only makes you energetic the next day, but also helps the body repair and reduce the risk of chronic diseases. Studies have also found that people who lack sleep for a long time will have a greatly increased risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, etc., and their lifespan may be shortened as a result. So, what is high-quality sleep? First of all, regular work and rest is the key. Staying up late will cause cumulative damage to the body. Try to fall asleep at the same time every day and ensure 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. In addition, the quality of sleep is also very important. The longer the deep sleep time, the stronger the body's ability to repair and fight diseases. Therefore, avoid over-reliance on electronic products, especially 1 hour before going to bed. Try to stay away from distractions, such as mobile phones and televisions. Maintain a quiet and comfortable sleeping environment, and ensure that you have a deep and restorative sleep. If you always sleep poorly at night, often dream or feel very tired when you wake up in the morning, this may be a warning sign. Remember, sleep is the recharge time of the body. If you don't sleep well, the various systems of the body will not be able to return to their best condition. For a long time, health will naturally be affected, and lifespan will be shortened. 3. Daily activity volume. Have you found that modern people like to sit more and more, and sitting for a long time has become a part of many people's lives? You may think that sitting is fine anyway. I don't think there is any big problem if I don't exercise. But in fact, the health risks brought by sitting for a long time may be much more serious than you think. Scientific research shows that long-term sitting not only leads to weight gain, but also may lead to increased blood sugar and blood lipids, thereby increasing the incidence of chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease and diabetes. Moreover, long-term sitting will increase the risk of premature death. According to a study, people who sit for more than 6 hours a day have a significantly higher mortality rate than those active friends. So, what should we do to break the adverse effects of long-term sitting? In fact, it is very simple. Just increase the amount of daily activities. For example, when working, you can stand up and move for 5 to 10 minutes every hour you sit. Go in to pour a glass of water, taking a few steps, and stretching your waist and legs are all very effective ways. If conditions permit, you can add some simple exercises, such as brisk walking, climbing stairs, skipping rope, etc. These activities can not only consume calories and help control weight, but also improve cardiopulmonary function and enhance muscle strength. Remember, ensuring 30 minutes of exercise every day, even light exercise, will significantly improve your physical health and reduce the risk of chronic diseases. These small habits, although inconspicuous, are crucial to prolonging life. 4. Eating habits. Did you know that diet has a much greater impact on life expectancy than we think? We often hear people say, "You are what you eat," and this is not an exaggeration. Every bite of food we take will affect our health to varying degrees, and even directly affect how long we can live. Studies have shown that long-lived people usually have very healthy eating habits. Their diet structure focuses on low fat, high fiber, and is rich in antioxidants, especially vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and high-quality protein. These foods can help us reduce the risk of disease and delay the aging process. First, we should try to reduce the intake of processed foods, which usually contain a lot of sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats which are extremely harmful to the body. Secondly, increase the intake of fresh vegetables and fruits, especially foods rich in antioxidants, such as blueberries, carrots, tomatoes, etc., which help to remove free radicals in the body, delay aging, and reduce the risk of cancer. In addition, a moderate amount of healthy fats such as fish, nuts, olive oil, etc., should also be part of our diet. These fats help protect cardiovascular health, reduce inflammatory responses, and thus prolong life. In summary, our eating habits have a direct impact on life expectancy, and a healthy and balanced diet can greatly improve our body's resistance and delay aging. Longevity is not just based on heredity. It depends more on our daily management of health, especially self-discipline in diet. 5. Positive mental state. Many people may think, what does longevity have to do with mentality? Isn't a healthy body the main factor? In fact, more and more studies have shown that the impact of mentality on life expectancy may even exceed physical health. Optimistic people are not only physically healthy, but also more mentally balanced and tend to live longer. According to some scientific studies, an optimistic mentality can enhance immunity and reduce the damage to the body caused by negative emotions, such as depression and anxiety. On the contrary, long-term negative emotions can lead to imbalanced hormone secretion, increase the body's inflammatory response, and ultimately threaten health. For example, people with long-term stress are more likely to get heart disease, and people with depression generally have a shorter life expectancy than optimistic people. So, how to maintain a positive attitude? In fact, it is very simple. Learn to face the challenges in life and accept things that you cannot change. Cultivate an optimistic attitude towards life, and try to maintain a positive and constructive attitude towards any difficulties. When you face difficulties, try to think about solutions instead of getting caught up in negative emotions. In addition, proper meditation, deep breathing, and relaxation exercises can also effectively reduce stress and maintain inner peace. Maintaining a positive attitude can not only improve the quality of life and delay aging, but also go further on the road to longevity. 6. Social relationships and loneliness. Humans are social animals, and good interpersonal relationships are essential to our physical and mental health. People who are lonely for a long time often face higher health risks. Studies have shown that loneliness increases the risk of heart disease, depression, anxiety, and other diseases, thereby affecting life expectancy. Especially as they age, many people may feel lonely due to widowhood, children leaving home, and other reasons. At this time, the importance of social relationships is particularly prominent. You may not realize that participating in social activities, gathering with friends, and keeping in good contact with family, these seemingly ordinary little things can actually greatly improve the quality of life and reduce the incidence of chronic diseases. Scientists point out that people with close social relationships tend to live much longer than lonely people. Staying social and communicating with relatives and friends as much as possible can not only alleviate loneliness, but also improve mental health. We can increase the frequency of socializing by joining some interest groups, volunteer activities, or simply gathering with friends. At the same time, maintaining family relationships is also very important. The support of family affection can bring you great psychological comfort, reduce stress, and improve happiness. In general, loneliness not only affects your mood, but its impact on physical health should not be underestimated. By actively participating in social activities and maintaining relationships with family and friends, your health will be significantly improved and your lifespan will be extended. Through today's sharing, we found that longevity is not just talent or luck, but more determined by each of our lifestyles and daily habits. Maintaining moderate exercise, a healthy diet, an optimistic attitude, and good social relationships are all important factors in prolonging life. Moreover, these habits do not require drastic changes. The key lies in whether we are willing to make some small adjustments and improvements starting today. If you think today's video is helpful to you, don't forget to like and share it with your friends around you, subscribe to my channel, and keep paying attention. Next, I will bring you more practical information about health and longevity. See you in the next video.